Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're all doing well in these weird times. I've just been out with my mum for a dog walk for our daily hourly exercise. Let us know what you guys have been up to try and keep sane and keep well in these weird times in the comments section below. So today we're going to be painting my brother's front bumper on his Nissan 350Z. It is a silver. Luckily I got everything. I am going to be painting it with a gun, just because it's way better than actually rattle can, because rattle can is just not durable. It doesn't last long, it doesn't look as good, just gun's way better. So if you have got the money and the opportunity to buy a compressor, a gun, these aren't exactly expensive, they're about 30 quid. And you can pick a compressor up for pretty cheap if you get a second hand one and whatnot. Yeah, and then paint, it doesn't actually cost that much, because a lot of times you have to mix it down half with thinners. Now, with that being said, that he has crashed this bumper quite a few times. This will be the third time painting it, I think. So with the repair, basically, I done it quite a while ago. It's just a fiberglass bumper, so a fiberglass repair, and then just a bit of filler to get the right shape. Yeah, but it has just been rattle canned as a primer. It's only a small section that we're painting, so it's not too bad. Yeah, and then we're going to paint it now. Okay, so this is the bumper we're going to be painting. Basically, you hit a deer and it smashed and pushed all of this area in. Like I say, it's a fiberglass bumper. That's just the repair at the back there. So yeah, it's all fiberglass repaired by me. And then we've done a little bit of filler work in here just to sort of make that good again. Like the same with my car, it is a drift car, so it doesn't need to be perfect or spot on. Probably going to end up getting smashed up again anyway, knowing he's driving. So to save time and paint, I'm not going to be painting the whole bumper, just going to be painting this section, so that's why it's only been prepped up to here. And then what I'm going to do is mask this off, paint it all, then paint this bit black, and then mask off a little bit further again, and then just lacquer the thing. And then yeah, that should all hopefully blend in quite nicely. And we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So as you can see, got a few things laid out here that we're going to be using. So obviously a paint gun. Like I say, this one's only £30, quite cheap. Face mask. I've had this one for quite a while. Probably should get a new one, but it's kind of tough to get one at a nice price at the moment. And then we've got some mixing cups. Once again, I think that's like 10 quid for like 50 of those. And then just some wooden mixing sticks. I do have a metal one, but these wood ones are quite nice because you just mix it up and then throw it away or burn it rather than having to keep cleaning it. Then we've got some paint thinners, which is the clear stuff to mix in with our silver base coat and our lacquer. Also, rather than keep using the clear paint thinners, I've also got a gum wash thinners. It's a bit bigger of a tin and it's got loads in there. It's obviously not as fine because it's not clear, it's more of a yellowy brown colour, but that doesn't matter if you're just using it for cleaning out the guns. Obviously you wouldn't want to use that in paint. Honestly, unprofessional. Cool, so that's the bumper all masked up. It's not exactly, the neatest of jobs, but it's, who cares? So what I've done on here is I've folded the masking tape back on itself, so it's not a hard edge. I'm not going to be painting all the way up to there anyway, but the little bits of overspray, and you can end up getting a hard edge, and it won't fade into the rest of the paint as nicely. Yeah, but I have done a hard edge down here. Without folding it over, just because that's going to be going into black. Didn't need to be masking off properly because it's going to be painted black again anyway. So just needed rough, so I haven't got so much to paint over. Right, cool. So when you are painting, it's important to not get any contaminants in the paint as much as you can. Obviously if you're doing it at home it's kind of hard, but at least a good thing to do is empty out your compressor. So what you want to do is fill it up with air, and then there'll be this little nipple here underneath which you undo. And a load of rusty water, moisture, oil and all of that will end up coming out of it. It does shoot out, so just going to do it off a little bit to start off with. Cool, as you can see, loads of oil and water and moisture and that has all come out of that, and dirt. You might want to do that a couple of times just to help clear it out. What I also do is run one of these filters on the bottom of my gun, which also helps keep it clean, because obviously a lot of that will still be in the airline. Cool, so what we're going to do now is mix up the paint. Now, with most base coats, it is a 2-to-1 ratio. That's 2 parts of the paint and then 1 part thinners. You want to mix the tin up a bit first, and then you can, if you've got the right paint cups, it will usually say on the sides, you know, you can have a 2-to-1 mix, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. If you don't have cups, once again, it's quite easy to work out. If you're putting in 200 millilitres of paint, base coat, then just put in 100 millilitres of thinners, and that'll give you 300 millilitres. How much you put in is all dependent on how much you're using. So if you've never painted something before, you might get it right, you might get it wrong. Either way, a lot of time with the paint base coat, it won't go off. So what you can do is, if you mix up too much, which is probably better than not enough, you can just put it in another one of these cups, and then just put some tape over it or something to seal the air off, and then you'll be able to use that again. So yeah, I haven't got much paint left in this colour, so I'm just going to put up as much as I can, which is about 175 millilitres. So I'm just going to go to somewhere just under 250, I think, with thinners. Cool, and then we just need to give that a good mix, and then yeah, put it in the gun. Make sure you clean your gun out first by blowing a bit of air through it, through your airline, or just wiping it around with a cloth. Usually I'd then use a paint strainer to put it into the paint gun, into the cup, but I don't know where I've put mine, so I'm just going to put this in as it is. I'm pretty sure there's nothing in here anyway that's going to clog up the gun. So you're also going to want to prep the paint up before you paint it, because there will be bits of dirt, oil, and other sort of silicone stuff that will contaminate the paint, and when you have that laying on there and you paint over it, a lot of time you get a silicone pop, you end up with like holes in the paint, or it can end up crinkling up underneath, which is never so good. Now you can either buy panel wipe in like big tins like the thinners, or sometimes I just get these paint preparation wipes from Halfords. They're not expensive and they're pretty good, to be fair. What I like to do is go over it with this, get as much as I can, and then I'll get a bit of kitchen roll, and then just wipe any of the rest off. Make sure you get round behind the edges as well, because you're also going to be painting there. And if paint flakes away at the edges, then it's going to carry on its way through the rest of the paint. Cool, so I've got paint on my gun, that's all filled up, it's all running clear. I've put it onto fan mode rather than like the shoot mode, where it'll come out in like a thin circle, which you don't want it, you want it in a nice fan. What we're going to do first is a grab coat, which basically is just a really thin layer, so you barely get any paint on it, but just enough to get a bit of a covering. When we're painting, what you're going to want to do is paint down the edges first so you don't forget it, and then find a comfortable position that you're going to be in to paint, because if you're in like an awkward position, then you're going to get like marks and lines and that through it. So where we're painting on a big curve like this, and I'm right-handed, obviously I'm going to stand over this side and do like a nice sweeping motion like that. When it comes to this side, I am going to be at a bit of an awkward angle, but I'm just going to stand back a bit and then paint it. Yeah, so we're not going to go all the way up to the edge on the masking tape, just going to go up to near it, and let the sort of paint feather out into it, so we get a nice transition in between the old paint and new paint for when it comes to lacquering it. Okay, so that's the grab coat gun. We're just going to leave that a few minutes just to dry off, tack up a bit, and then we'll come back and start actually laying a bit more paint down. Cool, so this is going to be coat number 1. I usually do 3 coats of like a full 3 coat to get a nice amount of coverage on it. And once again, do the edges first and then go on to the main section.
Crack money, drug money, bail money. Heard they got life for me, how they got life for me when they took that from me. Since I had my nose with me, yeah.
Cool, so that is the silver now laid down. What I've got to do now is just paint these black bits here in the grille. Haven't actually got any proper black paint anymore, so I'm just going to do it with a rattle can and then lacquer over it with proper lacquer. So yeah, just need to mask this bit off here and then paint that black. As you can see, I have masked this area off, kind of got a general curve using just straight lines and max and all that. And then yeah, just gone over it with some black rattle can. Now I just need to mask it off for the lacquer, so we don't lacquer the rest of the bumper that's already been done. Cool, so the bumper's all painted and it's all prepped up and ready for lacquer, so now we're going to mix up the lacquer. I'm just using this Churchill stuff. It's not overly expensive, but it does work quite well. Yeah, this once again is mixed up 2 to 1, so that would be 2 parts of the lacquer, the clear coat, and then 1 part of the hardener. You can put up to 15% thinners in this, I think, if you want to help it come out the gun a bit easier. So yeah, we used about 250 millilitres of paint, so probably only going to need like 150 millilitres for the lacquer, as you don't put so many coats on. I usually only do about 2 coats. Just going to use the rest of this up actually. A splash of thinners again. A little bit. Like I say, I'd usually use a strainer for putting those in, but I've lost mine, don't know where I've put them. Put them somewhere safe, but I can't remember where that is, so I ain't. Cool, so the lacquer goes on the same as the paint would. We're going to do the edges and then work our way up and down with it, overlapping on each spray. But with this, we're not going to do a grab coat, it's just going to be going on thick and heavy with it.
Well, I was just joking, man.
Make money, take money, earn, crack money, drug money, bail money. Heard they got life for me, how they got life for me when they took that from me. Since I had my nose with me, yeah.
House full of kilos, soul pounds and zeros. Cocaine my hero, blink big side get Devo. Always asking what the learn like. Young home still freeload. Don't fly around my signal. I'll rearrange your window.
Cool, so that's it all lacquered now. Had a couple of issues along the way. One of them being the primer or something underneath the primer has reacted when I painted on the actual base coat, causing it to lift a bit, but I did sand it back down a bit and then paint over it. It kind of looks a bit shitty, but it'll be alright. And the second one is, I think I used the wrong silver. We had 2 silvers. I think I used all the other one that was the correct silver for this, and this one was a bit of an off colour, so it's left a bit of a line on there. As you can see there, 2 sort of different colours. Luckily it's not that bad, because obviously, like I said, we had a bit of a problem here. Just means that I'll just have to paint it again once we've got the proper colour. But you know, once again, it's a drift car, it's probably going to get smashed into again. So yeah, I've taken the masking paper and that off. The lacquer's blended in quite nicely. What I just need to do now is leave it to dry and cure, and then tomorrow I'll go over it with a machine polisher, wet flat it and then polish it up, and hopefully it might help it look a bit better, but we'll see. Alright guys, it's the next day, so the bumper should all be dry now. It is the afternoon. I think my brother's just fitting it, so we'll go have a look and see how that's turning out.
And apparently no one crashes on this fucking day. Another one in there and the harness bar done at some point.
Option drift wraparound in there, back. But yeah, the bumpers come out okay. Obviously that is a different silver. like I explained earlier, and there's a mess up there, but probably just repaint it again at some point, so I'm not going to bother polishing it either. The number plate fitment.
Oh, brilliant.
Scratching out that fresh paint.
It's only anyway, isn't it?
True. So yeah, that's about it for this episode. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, because that'd be cool. Yeah, it's painted, so whatever.
I was just joking. I was just joking. I was just joking, man. I was just joking. I was just joking. I was just joking, man.
Knock, knock through the condos. Schoolboy from the five dudes. Schoolboy from the five dudes. Schoolboy from the five dudes. Dudes. Knock, knock through the condos. Through the condos. Schoolboy from the five dudes. Schoolboy from the five dudes. Five dudes. Don't fly around my signal. Don't fly around my signal. Don't fly around my signal. I'll rearrange your dinner. Could be my house, you rag disciple. Word to I'm liable. You get the eyeball, aim out the eyeball. I'm getting violent.
Schoolboy Q, man, I ain't gonna never tell you not to rap again. Man.
Make money, take money, earn, crack money, drug money, bail money. Heard they got life for me, how they got life for me when they took that from me. Since I had my nose, yeah. Earn crack money, drug money, bail money. Heard they got life for me, how they got life for me when they took that from me. Since I had my nose, yeah.